Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Beta and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel, I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to maintain a simplified financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, well, hello everyone. As I'm sure you can imagine, filming that intro took me a second. I was like really trying to think about what I could say now that we've paid off our debt. If you missed that announcement yesterday, I posted our final debt confession update because we have officially paid off all of our debt. If you're new to my channel, none of this is going to make sense to you, but starting in January of 2023, we had just under $59,000 worth of debt, and we have been working for the last year and a half in order to be able to pay that off. And we finally hit that goal. So we are very, very excited about that. If you missed that video, I will go ahead and leave it linked for you right now. But that also required that I change the intro for my video. And it took me a second to think about what I wanted to say. And thanks to Mr. Simple, I was able to bounce some ideas off of him and he liked my new intro. So anyways, that's not why you're here. But I did just want to say again, really quickly, thank you guys so much for your lovely comments and the lovely and wonderful things that you said on that video. I was just blown away by your kindness, your love, your encouragement. You guys are just absolutely fantastic, and I'm so grateful for this community here. So anyways, today's video is going to be the June budget with me, which I'm excited about sharing with you because, again, now that we are done paying off our debt, we're still sort of barely into where we want to be financially. That's just the first of many steps of getting ourselves in order. And now our goal is to save up 6 months of expenses for an emergency fund so that in the event of a job loss, a significant job loss, we've got some money there to buffer us and make our hearts and minds feel better in the event of an emergency like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this here. I've got my budget planner here. This binder is from a brand called Jumping Fox Designs. Anytime I mention the binder, I always leave it linked below for you guys so you can check it out. So I will go ahead and leave that linked below. And just disregard all of this stuff in here because I am going to be coming back to you guys again. This is like a week of simple budget, which I wasn't anticipating, but here we find ourselves. I'm going to be coming back to you guys tomorrow with what you can expect in my shop relaunch. And so this budget planner is changing between what you're seeing here and what is actually going to be available, but it does what we need it to do. So I'm going to just jump into June and I'm going to grab my monthly budget overview here. And I'm going to grab out a couple pages so that I have a smooth writing surface. And then I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in so that you can see a little bit better, and then we will just get into all of this stuff here. Alrighty, so now that I've got you zoomed in, we're just gonna go ahead and get into the budget. I did mention, if you did catch yesterday's video, that I have some news. So I was unfortunately let go from my job. I think I mentioned to you guys, I know that you guys are probably like, wait, what are you talking about? You've literally only been there for like 2 months. I mentioned to you guys when I mentioned that I got a new job with my old manager. Again, would it be a simple budget video if I was not interrupted by my children? I love the summer, but I also don't enjoy the summer. Anyways, so getting back to it, it had nothing to do with my management or anything like that. When I mentioned to you guys that I was hired by this company, it is a small family-owned business, and they their projections for what kind of business they were going to be able to do did not come to fruition, unfortunately. And so I was the last hired, and so I was the first one on the chopping block as far as, being let go. And it is a risk that you take when you work for a small business, for especially a small family-owned business, where you're in a situation where the market determines the success of your business, and that's exactly what happened here. And so I was let go. For the time being, we are going to see how we can live without my income. It is going to be a hit from against our non-necessities. And it's also going to be a hit in how quickly we are able to save up our 6 months of expenses. But we want to see how we can do it, if we can do it without my income. So that's what we're doing for now. If we get a couple of months into this or through the summer and we're just like, you know what, we really want that padded income, then I will start looking for jobs again. But for the time being, we're going to see how we can function like this. So that is my news. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just sort of is what it is. And I also recognize the immense privilege of being able to, choose to be a stay-at-home mom / single income household. It is also going to mean that my Etsy and YouTube paychecks start contributing to some of the things in the household as well. And I'm going to showcase that for you guys here as well. So you'll get to see kind of how we're planning things out. But for now, let's just jump into it. So now, since Mr. Simple is the only one earning a steady and plannable income, his income is the only one that's going to go in here. And I will showcase for you guys in my Etsy and YouTube budget with me at the end of the month before I stuff it, how this is going to look for us, how we're going to supplement my husband's pay with my side income. So my side, it's now it's my only income, but you know what I'm saying. So anyways, so he is projected to make $8,724.34 for the month of June. And so, as is the case in every single budget with me, we do a zero-based budget. So that means that we are giving every cent of this a purpose. We go down to the cent. I'm not telling you that you have to. This is just how we showcase it. And it seems to work for us so far. So we're just going to keep rolling with it. And then first up within this, though, is you've got to plan for your necessities. And so we always go into the bills and expenses first. And so first up is going to be our mortgage. And right now our mortgage is $2,489.33. This is actually going down. We just got our escrow review or something, and based on I think a variety of things. I don't really know all of the details. This is a Mr. Simple ministry. But basically my understanding of it is based on the assessment of property taxes and insurance and whatever else, our mortgage is going to be reduced actually by $150 starting in the month of July. So that will be nice. That will free up some extra money in the budget. But we will probably just allocate that toward maybe some necessities and then also toward our emergency fund. But you'll see how we do that in July's budget with me. Anyways, moving forward, we've got our water bill, and we're actually ahead in our water bill, I think, and our electric bill a little bit. So I did reduce, I think I was giving this anywhere from $115 to $120. So I'm doing $110. And we'll just kind of see where that takes us. I think we're about a month and a half ahead in our water bill. So we've been planning well for it. And so I'm just kind of eating into what we give it, especially without my income being a factor now. Life insurance is up next. This is also one that's going to be changing soon. My husband's going to increase his life insurance. I'm finally going to have life insurance. Hello, I am 39 years old. I should probably have some life insurance. Anyways, for the time being, it's going to be $42.06. And then our car insurance is up next. And we're going to be putting $120 toward it. Next, my husband and son train jujitsu. I recognize that this is not a necessity, but we just put it over with our bills and expenses because it's something that comes out every single month. And it is something that would be on the chopping block in the event of some sort of my husband losing his job. And so it costs us $187.38 every single month. And this is for both my husband and my son. Next up, our internet bill never changes, and it's $55.58. Our phone bill, which actually kind of went up a little bit. Verizon's really pushing me to leave them. I'm going to. We're going to do this. I can feel it. I'm giving it $110, but we did have to find some money. I think it was like $117 or something like that. But we were able to find some money from somewhere else within our budget and allocate that toward this. So it worked out. The electric bill, we give $200 every single month. Even though the electric bill fluctuates, we put this toward it in the event of an overage, maybe from air conditioning use in the hot Texas summers, or during the winter when we get our random freezes in February and we actually need our heat. It's expensive. And so we just give it $200 a month because it averages out to about that every month a year. So that's what we do. Groceries. This is a big one. So we did decide to increase our grocery budget, and there's just really nothing else to say about that. We have noticed, obviously, the incremental, it's not even incremental, it feels like ginormous exponential increases in the cost of groceries over the last however long. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before too, that I read an article that grocery inflation has hit like 25% in the last 9 months. And it's insane. I mean, it's just, there's no other way. There's no two ways of phrasing that. It's insane. I also recognize that we spend an exorbitant amount of money on groceries, definitely much more than I think your average American does. But we have not food sensitivities necessarily in the house. If this happens to be the first time you are watching my channel, the number that I'm about to put down on groceries is going to shock you. And so I'm just giving you a little bit of a buffer explanation so that you will understand at least a little bit why my grocery bill is this high. First and foremost, I have a variety of autoimmune issues that I have found to be healed by eating carnivore, which means that at this stage, and a few of you have asked me, my knee was hurt for a while. And when my mom and sister were here, I ate food that I shouldn't eat. And so I'm still recovering from all of the inflammation that happened as a result of eating not carnivore. But I am back on my very strict, actually no cheese even, because I'm learning some things about the way that we process cheese in this country. It's absolutely insane. So I'm just meat and eggs right now, and a bit of fruit here and there, but I am thinking about eliminating that as well. Either way, so that's my diet. And then my husband and I are both tall, and so our children are very large for their ages. My son is almost my height at this point. I'm 5'10", and my daughter is about the size of a young teenager, and she is 9. So my kids eat a lot of food, and I am also very concerned about quality because I know that the quality standards of our food in the United States are in the toilet. And so between the quality that I purchase and the quantity that I purchase, my grocery bill is very, very high. It is more than we spent on our mortgage on our first house. So it's ridiculous. Anyways, we have increased our grocery budget. It is now $1,900 a month. that breaks down to about $475 a week. We do have plans in the future to invest in 1 or 2 deep freezers and go with local farmers to purchase like half a cow and some chickens and some pork, which will reduce our grocery costs, which is wonderful. But for the time being, that's like a way down the line house project. And so for the time being, this is just what we're dealing with. So now that I've, shared a doctoral dissertation on my grocery bill, we can move on to the next expense in our household, which is gasoline. And our gas runs us about $150 a month. This is just what we give it, whether we spend more or less. Right now, I think we're about a month and a half, 2 months ahead on our gas as well. But vacation, summertime, we drive around a little bit more. And so that's just what we're doing. Next up is going to be household. Household is getting $70 this month, and then toiletries is getting $80 this month. I've mentioned this like 1,000 times on my channel, but we always go back and forth on these numbers. I feel like we can never really properly nail down a household and toiletries budget because like our needs fluctuate so much and what we spend fluctuates so much. And much like with food, I am also concerned about the quality of the products that we use, especially on our skin. And so we do spend a little bit more on toiletries and household items as well, because I try to go as clean or non-toxic as I possibly can. So if you were wondering why those things cost so much for us too, that is the reason. Next up is our subscriptions, and this one is the same every month, although Mr. Simple and you guys are gonna have to let me know if you're like this. I'm the type of person who I watch things seasonally. So I have certain shows that I like to watch in the winter, certain shows that I like, or fall and winter, and certain shows and movies that I like to watch in spring, summer. And so none of the streaming services have like all of the shows that we love in one streaming service. And so we're actually talking about changing our streaming services based on the shows that they have available and the time of year that it is for my particular sensitivities. It sounds silly, but it's also like, I don't want to have all of the streaming services at one time. That's just a waste of money. But there are some shows that I really want to watch lately that I can't because I don't have them on my streaming services. So I think we're going to fluctuate which ones we get throughout the year, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. And let me know if you're like that. Like for me, here's like a good way of identifying it. Most of you know at this point that I'm a huge fan of Friends and Gilmore Girls. I watch those shows in the fall. Fall and winter for me are like Friends and Gilmore Girls season. I also really like New Girl with Zooey Deschanel. If you've never seen that before, it is so worth a watch. I cannot recommend it to you enough. That to me is spring and summer, as well as anything. I also like a lot of like early American Revolutionary War and Civil War kind of stuff. And to me, those are summertime shows or movies. I don't know why. I mean, okay. The Revolutionary War I can attribute to July 4th, right? Summertime. American Revolution. I don't know why for me Civil War stuff is summer, but it is. Like if you guys, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie that they made about Harriet Tubman. Oh my gosh, you need to watch it. It's so good. What an extraordinary and spectacular human being. Anyways, I can't watch that if it's not the summertime. I don't know why. Don't even try to get into my brain. Anyways, we're moving on. Our subscriptions right now are $64.75 a month. Next up is pest control. This is something that we pay quarterly, but we still treat it like a sinking fund and put money toward it every single month, and it's $43 a month. Here we go. Next, taxes. This is just for the money that we pay the person who prepares our taxes for us. It's $30. And then next up, we have some like small sinking funds. So our HOA fee, which is paid once a year, we put $17 a month toward it. A finance coach that we use, this is really like finance coach is sort of a misnomer, but It's just the best thing for us to call it here. It's actually a subscription service that we use once a year that is specific to my husband's job. And this individual makes recommendations to everybody who subscribes to him for where to move your retirement funds to maximize your payout. And again, this is job specific to my husband. Otherwise, I would be sharing this information with everybody because who doesn't want to maximize their retirement fund? But I never share it because, again, it is job specific to my husband. So it's a once a year cost, but we put $5 a month toward it. And then for next up, another thing for my husband's job is union dues, and that runs us $15 a month. And let me put the one there. And even though this is not a necessity, I put them over here just to make some space over with our sinking funds. And what we have for this is our pool membership, which we finally actually just got the other day, but it runs us $32 a month in order to be able to pay for it in the summertime. And then vacation this month, I am putting $50. I'm budgeting $50 from this money. But then over here, I'm just gonna put a little like asterisk and put another 50 because, and you'll see most of this is going to happen over here with sinking funds. With my income from Etsy and YouTube, I would like to put another $50 toward vacation. And so that's how we're handling this moving forward with our sinking funds as well. I'm gonna have just a little asterisk on the side for how much I want to pull from Etsy and YouTube to put toward these things so that we can make sure that all of the items in our budget are being met accordingly. So you'll see that as we move forward to sinking funds. For the first time ever, I don't have to put anything up here in debt, which I'm so excited about. And so we'll just move right into our sinking funds. So first up is car expenses. And we put $57 a month toward it. And that is, it covers it builds up a little bit of a mini fund in the event of something happening to our car. But then also it funds our car registration every year as well. So we've got that there. And then home maintenance is another one that I'm gonna be supplementing with my Etsy and YouTube pay. We are putting $50 toward it. And then I'm just putting the little asterisk here for another $50 to pull from Etsy and YouTube this month. Medical is another one just like that. Medical is getting $75 this month, and I am going to supplement it $25 from Etsy and YouTube. Oh, I didn't add up this bottom part. I'm doing great, guys. I actually have my total off to the side here. So this first section was a total of $5,771.10. And so now I will get into the rest of this. Clothes is up next. This is another one I'm going to be supplementing. I'm earmarking $50 for it. And then I'm going to supplement it $25 with my Etsy and YouTube money. Next, we have haircuts. And we're budgeting $70 for that. This is my husband's spending money. Even though I lost my job, we are still getting spending money. And he's getting $50 just like he always does. And you'll see this in the Etsy and YouTube budget with me, but once we hit our financial goals of supplementing our regular budget with this money, I am then going to treat the leftover money the same way that I would as if it were side income, if that makes sense. So stay tuned for that if you want to see how we're working that process out, because obviously I'm going to showcase it for you guys. And then I am up next. This is my spending money, and mine hasn't changed either. I'm getting $175. There's a discrepancy, obviously, because my husband does jujitsu, and I don't have necessarily a hobby that costs me money. And so that's why I get a little bit more spending money than he does. And this also funds my haircut, and his haircut is up in this as well. Although this does fund my kids' haircuts too. So anyways, moving right along, Dine Out is up next. And we budgeted $30 for that, and I am going to supplement it $20 so that it gets $50 in a month. Dates is up next, and obviously we are now saving for our congratulations on paying off all of your debt date, but that's going to take a little bit of time. It's getting $30 this month, but I will likely supplement that. I just don't have a supplementation goal because it's not like a priority. I understand Dine Out is also not a priority, but it's definitely something that we like to have a little bit of extra money in, especially in the summertime, so that we can treat our kids here and there as well. So anyways, family fun is budgeted $30, and I will likely supplement this one as well. But again, I don't have like a goal for it. Gifts is getting $40 this month. Partay is mostly just for our kids' birthday parties, but then also if we have people over to our home, we're putting $45 toward that. Back to school, I'm just gonna put school here. This one is getting $30, and then I'm gonna supplement it $20, just because we are coming up. I mean, it doesn't sound like it, but we are approaching when we're gonna need to buy school supplies for next year's school year for our kiddos, because they start school in like mid-August. So it's gonna happen faster than we realize. The next are just like little holidays that don't take too much from us every month. So $5 for Valentine's Day, $7 for Easter, $12 for Halloween, Thanksgiving, I'll just put thanks there, is getting $25, and then Christmas gets $275 a month from us as well. No other supplementing here, because there's really nothing else that we were too concerned about as far as like making sure. Oh, I just realized, was I in frame? I hope so. Okay, so then moving down to savings, the number one priority is our emergency fund. Oh, I didn't write the total down here. I'm doing terrible at this today. So it's going to be $1,056 from this section. I don't have my calculator with me, but I've already done this budget, so I have an idea of kind of what we're working with. But now in our emergency fund, okay, so after subtracting our bills and expenses and our sinking funds, the like total that we're actually budgeting from this paycheck, and then, geez, I just lost all of my train of thought. So what remains from that is $1,847.24, because like I told you, we budget every cent to put in our emergency fund. Now, we were, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, toward the end of our debt pay down, we were putting $2,500 a month at our debt. And that was because obviously I was employed. So now our goal every month is to put $2,000 a month toward our emergency fund, since again, I am unemployed. And so I'm going to have to supplement this. I'm just going to put a line here so that I know. $152.76. So I'm going to have to come up with this money between Etsy and YouTube for the month of June in order to supplement what we want to put into our emergency fund every single month. And then in addition to our emergency fund, we have small investment accounts for our kids, and we give them each $25. I'm sorry, 25. And I actually didn't do the math here, so it's going to be $1,897. And 24 cents for our savings section. So between all three of these, $5,771.10 in bills and expenses, $1,056 in sinking funds, and $1,897.24 in our savings, we get up to $8,724.34. Now, if you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you're probably saying, okay, but Veda, where's your house project fund? It is noticeably absent from this budget plan, and that is because that is purely superfluous, I want to say, to our budget. It's not a high priority. It didn't even enter into a discussion for our budget until I started working in about February of 2023. So right now, along with home decor, house project is going to be 100% supplemented by Etsy and YouTube. So, this is just one of those things that happens when you've got to accommodate for income loss in your home. It is obviously the highest priority for us to build up an emergency fund, because now that we're out of debt, we really, really want to make sure that we have this life buffer here in the event of Mr. Simple losing his job, because he is the sole breadwinner now at this point. My Etsy and YouTube income, although lovely and wonderful and appreciated, will not feed our family or keep a roof over our head. So that's what we're accommodating right now. Like I said, if we get through the summer and it's sort of like, you know what, let's just go ahead and, I'll get a job again to supplement our household income, I am more than willing to do that, obviously. But right now we're just going to see how long we can ride this out and, figure out our income along the way. So anyways, I hope that you found this helpful. Again, this is what a zero-based budget looks like. This is what it looks like when you plan every dollar or every cent, just depending on your own proclivities. I'm going to zoom you guys back out and then we'll finish this video. All right, so that is actually going to do it for me for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. And again, thank you so much for all of your lovely, lovely comments and encouraging words in yesterday's yesterday's debt confession update and our payoff announcement. We're just so grateful for you guys in this community. Like I mentioned, this week is just the week of the simple budget. So tomorrow, I'm so excited to be coming back again with you and sharing all of the products that are going to be new or relaunching in some capacity in my shop on Friday. Sorry, I was interrupted again. Anyways, I'm really excited to be sharing everything with you guys. Everything that's going to be relaunching. Everything is going to go on sale starting on Friday. So it's going to be 20% off of my entire shop for the rest of the month of June. And so you'll be able to take advantage of all my new products. I've got some Oops products. I've got some new things coming to the shop. And then I will continually, the bulk of what I wanted to relaunch on Friday will be up on Friday. And then I'm going to be continuing to add just like little bits and pieces to my shop for the rest of the month of June as well. So stay tuned for those things. I may announce them like in a video with my regular content, just saying, hey, this is now in my shop, or this, but like the bulk of what I'm going to showcase tomorrow will be up and available on Friday. It's just going to be little bits and pieces that I'm going to add afterwards. So stay tuned for that. And I will be back here with you guys again tomorrow. If you liked this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, left me a comment down below, just saying hi and letting me know how you're doing. And I'll be back here with you guys again tomorrow for the shop relaunch showcase announcement thingy. Anyways, until then, you guys have a great one, and I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.